live. We're apparently live.
We are live. Going live. Do you remember that going live?
I can't see it on my channel that we're live. Can you see it on my channel that we're live?
Let me see. Bear with.
Oh no, I can. I can. Look. I can't see it on my channel that we're live. Can you see it on my channel that we're live? So there we are. We're live. And already we've got some lovely people saying hello. Hi, Athin Vixen. Hi, DM. And hi, Samantha Walls. Welcome to my channel. I'm Simon of Savage Reads. And I'm joined by...
Ta-da! Tom from Tom Reads Things.
Who will be linked in the description box below already, because I'm clever. Everyone's saying we've got... Well, not everyone. Some people are saying that we've got autumnal jumpers on.
Well, it's true. We've already had a pre-chat about the jumpers, but yeah, I need to stop wearing this. It's too hot, but it's very autumnal, and so is yours.
Are you about to strip for us live on YouTube? So we're doing this live together because it is the end of autumn book hibernation. And we thought we'd have a chat about what we've read, what we've been doing, and see what you've been reading and all those things. So keep the comments coming because I can see them. I'm actually, do you know what? I just want to say one thing before we move on. I'm amazed I actually managed to make this happen.
Do you know what? I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't have known where to start.
But well, I did one with lovely Lauren Wade. And she kind of, but I was on your end of things, not this end of things, but I like it. And if it works, I might get Pip back on doing crime time like this. Although I need a better camera. I'm not happy with my camera.
Absolutely furious with the camera. But yeah, no, it's good, isn't it? It's quite clever.
And also,
I wouldn't know where to start. I would not know where to start.
No, you've not got any glare. Now I feel like I'm about to be told off by the headmistress.
Do you know what me and Mark keep saying, because we've both got glasses now? We keep saying we want a chain.
Andy Oliver has the most amazing line of chains for glasses.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just dropping my mate Andy in there.
Look at me walking around like...
You're a bit of a... Oh no, I can't even work out where the camera is anymore now. So anyway, Tom.
Yes.
This is, it's been a treat. Have you enjoyed book hibernation?
I've loved it. It's been an absolute joy. I've really liked everyone's like participation stuff on Instagram. I've loved reading, because when people post their TBRs and stuff like that, or where they, you know, how they've been finding Lady Audley's secret and stuff like that, you can see it all with the hashtag HiBearNation, book hibernation. So it's I've loved seeing people's different TBRs and having chats with you, obviously, and lots of other wonderful things. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Has it made you read more?
No. Well, I actually maybe no. Bye. That's enough. Bye. I think maybe it's made me read some books that I don't think I would have got to this year otherwise, because of the prompts.
That's good.
So I don't think I would have got to. I don't think I would have. I never would have thought to pick up, Bring Up the Bodies, and the 5, but I wanted to read them for ages. How about you? Has it made you read more?
It has this week, because I put stuff going on earlier in the week, so I had a bit of a lull. And actually, I was feeling a bit like, oh, I've only read 3 books. But then I was like, well, you read 3 books in 5 days, so that's pretty good. And one thing I can say is Heather's bookshelf just said, and this has really touched me, so thank you for saying this, Heather. Reading Lady Audley's Secret kept me from feeling lonely whilst I was doing night shifts. Knowing lots of other people were reading was great, and I loved it. Well, we will be talking about that book later.
That's so lovely. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, that made my day. Athin Vixen says it's made me read differently. That's interesting. Oh, people are here from Switzerland. Julie's here from Switzerland. And Gainers love taking part. I don't know if you can see comments, can you, Tom?
I can see them, but when I click on the comments, I can't see us. But it's fine. I don't need to see us. I know what we look like. In the comments. Do you know, I really want to go to Switzerland. Switzerland is like one of my top destinations that I want to go to. Really want to go to Switzerland.
I've been. I had an unfortunate incident in what's it called? Bern,
Grindel.
I want to say Bern. No, Basel. Where I actually no, I'm not going to tell this story on here because it's really depressing. But I saw it. I was on there on a press trip because I used to be a travel journalist, and Basel has a particular place that's famous for something not great, and we saw that not great thing happen, and we all had to be taken for shots afterwards to kind of calm our nerves. It's very traumatic. Anyway, there's that. Let's all move on because we were talking about lovely things. So I only did 4, Simon, and I did 2 in the first 2 days. Hey, one of the things that we did say on our Insta Lives was it doesn't matter how much you read, and actually the prompts are more the fun element in terms of like it's just fun to go through your shelves and shop through your shelves and sort of see what is where.
Yeah, absolutely. And what the different books that you can use for the different props. I mean, I didn't read anywhere near my full TBR that I wanted to read for this. I read 3 books in total.
That's like for a week. That's really good.
Thanks.
For my,
but actually, it realise it does. I definitely did read more than I would have usually, because there's no way I would have read more than 3 books in the week that we've been doing this, like usually. So definitely it's made me read more, definitely.
Well, I've had a few things that have made me really happy about it, particularly. I was happy about it anyway, but like one of the things is reading this, which we'll come to more. Oh, I can't look at how. Reading this, the screen's so much smaller than normal. Reading this has reminded me how much I love classics when I get them. And it's really kind of, because I'm reading Vanity Fair next month, I was a bit nervous, and now I'm excited about reading. As I have to say, Ben's given her the brilliant name of Becky with the sharp hair.
Oh, because her name's Becky Sharp.
Yeah, and you've got Beyonce saying Becky with the good hair, so now we've got Becky with the sharp hair. Anyway, no, that's one thing that really, really pleased me, because it was also a bit odd because this is the second time I've read this. And before we started doing this, I've been filming with my mum for about an hour and a half this afternoon for a video that will be going live, but we're having a chat as well. She genuinely did try and join in with autumn book hibernation. I was like, and she's like, I've read Lady Audley's Secret twice. I'm not reading that again. But she did say she was struggling to find a book with green on the cover. So I was like, she has been paying attention. HRH.
She's watching. She knows what's going on.
She knows what's going on. She does what we do, messages where she's like, I've seen you say that before, Simon. I've seen it on your channel. No new news.
Getting told off.
Yeah. But what about you? Like, because you've been wanting to read Bring Up the Bodies for ages.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have picked it up this year. And well, I planned obviously to pick it up back in March, but I never would have picked it up this year had it not been for Autumn Book HiBearNation. And I was looking for a book with a bird on the cover, and I was thinking, so I think this was one of the only ones with a bird that fitted that prompt, and I was like, it's massive, but I thought I'll put it on my TBR. If I don't get to it, I don't get to it. But I knew that as soon as I started reading it, I was gripped, loved it, absolutely loved it. And actually it's made me excited now to read The Mirror and the Light. Yes, The Mirror and the Light.
Because my laptop is resting on it.
Oh, it's here. I'm really excited to read that now, but that's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 900 pages, I think.
And I think it's, you could easily, I found Wolf Hall interesting and enjoyable, but it felt very much like a history book that had been novelized or written in the form of a novel to some extent. I think Wolf Hall, I loved its exploration of Cromwell. And seeing things through his eyes, because usually you don't see it through his eyes. But I found Bring Up the Bodies much more of much more, much less like a history lesson and more like a novel. And I don't know if that's because I knew it. I knew that the story of Anne Boleyn better, but yeah, really enjoyed it.
Because I've never finished it. I've tried it once, and then I was going to read it again this year. Funnily enough, in March when everything went bonkers. So weird that I never got around to reading the whole trilogy like I planned. But I found Bring Up the Bodies much more of a comfortable read. I sort of felt like I was in it a lot quicker, and it sort of had more of a pace to it. And I don't know if it's because she focuses so much on the Boleyn stuff, which is why I couldn't finish it, because I love Anne Boleyn and I was getting too emotional about it. But yeah, I don't know. It's it just has a lighter feel to it. Without that sounds like patronising. I don't mean it to, but it just has that lighter, more romp feel.
I think what Hilary Mantel's trying to do in Wolf Hall is give a lot more lesser known historical detail at the beginning of this whole epic story that spans what I'm assuming is the third book as well. So I think that's what makes it feel a bit lighter in Bring Up the Bodies, that a lot of that groundwork's already been done. Yeah.
It's interesting reading Wolf Hall, because the first time I read it, I didn't notice the research as much. And then the second time I read it, I really, really did this year when I reread it. And I felt like it gets a bit lost in its own research a bit. And I'm slightly worried that's going to be the case with The Mirror and Light, because it's so big again. And I think she's better when she's briefer.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Controversial. I absolutely loved it. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad I read it.
Well, Julie Bones says, I tried Wolf Hall a few years ago and struggled. Think we'll try again given Tom's comments. So that's a good sign. And then Little Miss Vix81 says, I think of the three Bring Up the Bodies, that was my favourite. I listened to The Mirror and Light for book Hibernation, which was good, but I didn't thirst for it as much as Bring Up the Bodies. I've heard the audiobook is very, very good of that one. And Manai Doyle says, the book I'm reading right now is over 600 pages long. Well, I'm planning, which will maybe come to you later, on reading, I have got my next read with me, a very big book next, apart from Vanity Fair, which is an absolute mofo.
What is it? Is it what I think it is?
I don't know, it might be. Hang on. It's like a brick. Well, I say I'm reading it next. That's not technically true. I'm reading it from a week on Monday when I go away.
Da 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 da.
It is literally as wide as my fat face. Oh, he's gone. He's so excited. He's gone.
God, this is massive, isn't it?
Well, this is the paperback edition, because as you know, I bought two.
Yeah. So
this
one and the one I've got and the one you've got? Is mine just taller?
Yeah, yours is taller and a bit wider. Oi, oi.
Oi, oi. So this, it's very autumnal cover though, isn't it?
It is, and actually it did keep teasing me for autumn book hibernation. It did keep giving me a little tease, cheeky tease. So that's what I'm going to read. But I was going to talk about that at the end, not now.
Talk about it at the end, please, Simon.
Yep. Rewind. So let's talk. So you read Bring Up the Body. Actually, can I mention this? One of the other books that I did finish and enjoyed, but possibly not as much as I would have liked to.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
So
let's have a discussion. Go. Tell me what you thought.
So, I really enjoyed this still, but I think I was kind of comparing it to the 5 as I read it, even though they're not anything to do with each other. They're almost kind of opposites in a way, because they're both looking at the lives of women who have just been written off as prostitutes. In this case, a lot of them were sex workers. And I think the way she looks at that is really, really fascinating. And she starts off looking at the sort of story of Jack Harris, who is the man who created the list with all of these sex workers on. And what I really liked about that was that she looks at the idea of a pimp in a really different way. So she doesn't condemn him for what he did. She looks at why he did what he did.
Okay.
He became a pimp, and you go through kind of like the theatre world that he was involved with and all of that. And then you kind of get embroiled in some of the more salacious elements, which I really enjoyed. But it did feel a little bit research heavy.
Right.
And I don't know if because the 5 is sort of narrative non-fiction-y, that's a different kettle of fish. Are you just tweeting someone saying, "Save me, please, get me off this live"?
No.
You texting to be saved by Mark.
I'll show you.
Simon, I'm just.
I was turning my Wi-Fi off on my phone. Help me.
So yes, no, I enjoyed it, but it didn't quite hit. I was going to say it didn't hit the spot. It didn't quite scratch the itch that I was hoping to have. And I was hoping for some serious itches going through like the smelly, pox-ridden Georgian Soho, but I didn't quite get them. So enjoyed it. Still think she's an amazing writer. Would really, really, really like to read. She's done about, I think, The Scandalous Lady W or something. So I'd like to read more of her non-fiction.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about her Bad Women that's coming out, I think, next year, which is all about the women around Crippen.
You said, yeah.
But yeah, but then also what I've got to remember is this was before the 5. So writers hone their skills as they go. So I'm just trying to be fair to it. To it.
So was that the first book you read?
Well, I sort of was multi-reading. So I was listening to this on audio.
Right.
And then I read that as well, The Sunlight Pilgrims.
Oh, yeah. So this is the dystopian one set in November 2020, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it goes into December 2020, and it's like how the world has become kind of this frozen, weird space. And we meet a young girl who is with her mum, who is a survivalist who's sort of been preparing for the end of the world. And then there are elements of surprise within the story that I don't want to give away.
Okay. But
it relates to a big topic right now as well, which is quite interesting. Not pandemic.
Quite enough of that.
Quite enough of that. And it was weird reading a dystopic book set now with everything that was going on, because I was thinking, blimey, it isn't that far away from fact, actually, really, if we're honest.
Yeah.
But and actually, one thing I'm going to be a tiny little bit smug about is this did all of the prompts for the first 4 or 5 prompts.
Mm-hmm.
The extra prompt was do sensation non-fiction, and then another prompt was an autumn cover. So technically, I covered all of them.
You've absolutely smashed it.
Thank you.
What
I've not done is do an autumnal picture. So there's going to probably be a picture of this in front of the fire later today.
Are you not going to chuck it outside in some soggy wet leaves?
No, not this edition. I found the one that I battered about. So maybe I'll just throw this for some soggy or wet. Fun. So what else did everyone else read? Because I just want to make sure that we're seeing all the comments, because it's lovely that lots of you are commenting, but I'm just making sure that I'm not missing any, because there's lots going on in there. Ethan Vixen says maybe she's developed her style. I don't think it was bad style, the Covent Garden book. I think it was actually my expectation that might have got in the way, and that happens quite a lot with books that I read. I expect so much, like literally, if this is not a 10 out of 5 book, it's going on the fire.
Well, there you go. There you go. I think, I don't know. I mean, some other people have been commenting about it, but I just think it's just, I don't know. I think the reason I enjoyed it so much is because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it at all. Like,
The Secret are we on now?
No, The Eighth Life.
Oh, sorry. Got really confused then. Which book are we doing right now? Now I'm looking forward to it. If you and Natalie like it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it. And also I like the fact that I'm going to be able to like properly crack the spine on this one and do all of that stuff that I always say that I don't do, but I will. because it's already been smacked about on the side. So yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. And I think actually I lie. I said I was going to start that next Monday. It'll be the Monday after, because I'm away in a place that I won't say for 2 weeks. The first week I'm having like literally a block of everything. No, I might do a tiny bit of Instagram, but no YouTube, no everything, just switching that off. And then the second week I'll be working from home there, and that's when I'll probably start this.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. I started that when I was in Shropshire.
Oh, that's where HRH Dame Louise of Savage lives.
Exactly.
I heard all about it.
Started in Shropshire, thought I'll read 100 pages a month for like 10 months, so just like in between stuff, and just smashed through it.
Couldn't put it down.
Could not put it down. So yeah, what's everyone else been reading?
So I think
someone else has said, Little Miss Vix 81 said, not finished Covent Garden's Ladies yet, but I'm not finding the women's voice as strong as I would like compared to the 5.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think I would agree with that. But then I think it's because I wonder if it's the same with Little Miss Vix 81. That's because as you've read the 5 first, it's possibly not gonna, because the 5 is such an incredible, as you read, because you've read that this is part of autumn book hibernation. Tell us all about it. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us how you got on. Tell us everything.
Here it is. So yeah, the 5, Hallie Rubenhold. So I'd seen this again. This isn't one I thought. Hang on, there we go. Again, this isn't one I thought I would. I've been wanting to pick it up for so long because I'd heard so many people who I really trust their opinions talk about it and rave about it, including you, who was your favourite non-fiction book of last year, wasn't it? Then you picked this out for me in Cambridge, and I thought, oh yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know why, I'd just never been drawn to pick it up, and I thought, okay, well, this fits one of the prompts, and so glad I did. Really loved it. I think it's yeah, it's a much different take on those women. And actually, you never, like Jack the Ripper, I feel, especially in the UK, is so ingrained in our sort of fabric of our knowledge of sort of Victorian history in this country. And you know that he killed these women, but you only know about them because of their deaths. You don't know about their lives. And obviously these were real women with real problems and real families and real friends and things like that. And it was just so sad. And you warned me it was going to be a bit emotional because, you know, a lot of these women are I don't want to say the word victims, but I can't think of a better word, so I'm going to say it. They are victims of the society that they are living in because of the ties on them, the gap in terms of poverty and wealth in Victorian London really plays a part in this. And you know, there's some themes that run through each of their stories, especially around things like addiction and things like that. The kind of just make just a really emotional things to read about. So really liked this. I am going to read Covent Garden Ladies as well, I think, but I've read a book that's very similar to it before. A secret, it's up there, what's it called? The Secret History of Georgian London by Dan Cruikshank, which is brilliant. That's all about the sex trade in Georgian London. So yeah, really
I wonder if it'll be different reading about the sex trade written by a woman compared to a man. I think that could be quite interesting. Not that I'm saying making assumptions, but one thing I think that the 5 made me realise was, one, I used to be fascinated by the tale of Jack the Ripper, like genuinely fascinated, and it made me feel quite awkward about that because it's just you're almost fetishizing a murderer. You are almost making a legend of a killer, and that isn't the way things should be. And I think what I loved about the 5 so much was that it righted that wrong, or it tried to right that wrong.
It doesn't talk about, it barely references him at all, does it?
No.
Throughout the whole thing, so it doesn't glamorize or, like you say, kind of fetishize his celebrity at all. So yeah, it's I hadn't thought about it that actually, but yeah, coming to think of it now, yeah, just thinking he's not really referenced. which is, even the killings aren't really referenced. It's
No,
just
yeah.
Yeah, and then that's it. So yeah, loved
Well,
it. Loved it.
when you do your review, you can have that on me.
Thank you.
Somebody commented, and I've lost the comment, I'm sorry, that they'd finished Armadale by Wilkie Collins, which is one of my favourite books, and were mad at the ending. Now, one thing that and Little Miss Bix 81 has said, I'm completely engrossed by the fight, but it left me feeling sad and so angry for the way women have been treated through history. It also made me feel really sad and angry that not that much has changed. When a woman is killed, it's all about them as the victim and about the murderer is the one who gets discussed. I don't think it has changed that much. Jenny Lees has just finished The Steel Woman's Gift by Sally Magnuson, which was absolutely brilliant. I have that, I think, on my shelf somewhere. I can never work out where to point when you're doing a thing.
Yeah. Little Miss Bix also said, I was completely engrossed by the fight, but it left me feeling sad and so angry for the way. Oh, that's what you just read.
That is what I just read. Thank you.
No, there was another comment. There was another comment about, oh, here we go. Sorry. Athin Vixen, I found the five very sad, carrying their possessions with them. Yeah, that is the way that's written about them carrying how they had their possessions with them was quite sad as well.
It's a very sad book. But the link from Armadale that I wanted to go for was, I think I've learned, and again, we're not going to give any spoilers talking about this book, well, not intentionally, but I think I've realised that sensation novels have really, really, really mad endings. So, speaking of which, here is Lady Audley's Secret, which was my pick as a group read for everyone. Tom, I think you should choose one for winter.
Okay.
So that we can start taking it in turns. If it's Dickens, I'll kill you. But no, I won't.
1,000 Dickens.
No, I'd try. I'm going to try Dickens this Christmas, so I can't say that I wouldn't read a Dickens. Anyway, I read this when I got back into reading, I think, in my mid-20s, when I hadn't read for a long time. And it was this, Rebecca, The Body in the Library by Agatha Christie, and also, I've been talking about it tonight with my mum, Half a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And this book, I just remember picking it up and thinking, okay, it's a big, stonking, like Victorian novel, and getting absolutely hooked by it. I could not stop reading it. And what was interesting was when I picked it up this time, I felt very similarly. How did you get on with it? Because you're much more of a classics king than me.
A classics king. Yes. Well, I think for me, here it is. I think for me, it's I enjoyed the story. I definitely enjoyed the story. I've enjoyed the experience of reading it because I enjoyed the experience of reading it because
very Anne Boleyn, that hat. Very Anne Boleyn.
It's nice. This is a Gable Hood, more sort of Catherine of Aragon, I would say. I think, yeah, I enjoyed the experience of reading it. I think one thing that I would have liked, and I won't give any spoilers away just in case people are still finishing it tonight, but one thing I would have liked is to have, I guessed what was going on pretty early on. And I think I don't know if that's the point, and I don't know if a lot of people did, but that was kind of my experience of it. And then it was just a case of, oh, okay, so I'm just gonna read through what I kind of already know is gonna happen. But that it didn't really. It just deadened some of the anticipation. But I still
didn't like it. Don't beat around the bush. I won't be offended. Where's the?
I did like it. I did. Hated it. No, I did like it. I really liked it. And actually, it makes me. Has made me want to read more sensation novels, because this is the first sensation novel I've ever read. One thing and we were sort of talking about, I don't know if we were talking about this earlier, but yeah, we were on WhatsApp. I don't know if I like any of the characters, or whether I think they're all just awful, or whether I actually just feel really sorry for them all. I still don't know. I only finished this afternoon, so
they're all. See, I finished my reread this afternoon as well. I think they are all awful in their own different ways. But I kind of Clara's not awful, I would say. I think she's, you know, but I think it's interesting because what I realised was, and if Natalie sees this, she will laugh. So one thing that I don't like in fiction is coincidences. I find coincidences really hard to stomach. It's happened in the last like 5 or 6 years. It's not something that's always been the case. Clearly, because this book is so coincidental at points, it's untrue. Like literally, you feel like it's untrue. So for me, I had a real battle going on in my head because I was like, I'm lost in this. It's Victorian. It's dramatic. I can't work out what blinking out to hold it. So I was like, it's, you know, it's dramatic. It's got all of that stuff that I love. It's gothic. It's got, you know, again, I don't want to give too much away for people who haven't read it, but let's just say Lady Audley is an interesting character. But what I actually loved reading it the second time, the first time, I don't think I spotted anything because I was just reading it and I was getting back into reading and so wasn't thinking about foreshadowing. But I actually love how much she foreshadows for the reader so that you feel clever as you're working stuff out.
Yeah,
I like that about it. But what I also love is, you know, Julie Wayne's just said, can you explain how you define sensation novel? And these books have been labelled sensation novels basically because they were from a specific period of the 1800s. They were generally about murder, madness, bigamy, what else? Basically all the sort of black penny immoral goings on, all the shenanigans really behind closed doors.
Very plot driven.
Very plot driven, almost like a thriller. But don't forget, like, detectives didn't exist in these times, which I also find, and that's one of the things that I also love. The first detective was in a sensation novel. It was actually in Wilkie Collins' The Woman in White. That was the first detective that appeared in fiction, before Sherlock. And so there's all that going on with it, which I love. But also for me, this was like escapism for me now. It was so lovely to escape into it. That I really, really enjoyed. I don't know how much escapist Becky Sharp's going to give me, but this was escapist. But no, I didn't like it. Robert's an absolute whopper.
Oh, do you know what? I don't know. I don't know. Are you talking about Robert the character?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you meant someone in the comments.
Yeah, Robert in the comments who isn't there, you whopper.
The whopper. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him. Part of me just wanted to go, do you know what? Just go away. Just stop digging. Just go. Let everyone just live their lives. But yeah, he's an odd one, isn't he?
Well, he is, and also just like, I think there's layers in it. So one thing that I found fascinating actually was somebody commented, I love the fact that Little Miss Fix just said Robert's a man you'd avoid in the pub. You blinking would. Jenny M hated George Talboys, so did I. But do you know what? It wasn't like hating and wanting to throw the book down. It was just almost like enjoyable trolling of yourself, getting really, really wound up in these, you know, fictional people. Also, somebody's just said Audley. I don't think Audley in the book is meant to be Audley in real life. Just so, because somebody was saying about it might not take an hour to walk from the pub even in a gown. We're getting picky.
I don't live far from Audley End. I think that's what they mean, and it's definitely not an hour to walk to the pub from Audley End House.
But I don't think it's the same place, is it?
No, I don't think so. It's Audley Court, and it's in the book, and I don't know if it's not.
Well, Aslyn Vixen's just literally put her finger on her nail on the head of the finger of the button. I don't know what I'm saying, but she said that she thought Robert fancied George, and I felt there was like a homosexual frisson.
Yeah,
in here.
Frisson.
I didn't see that the first time. And also, the fascinating comment I meant to say earlier was somebody commented, and this is what I love about a group read, saying that clearly Lady Audley had some form of postnatal depression.
Depression, yeah.
It's so interesting when you see it in that light, because that wouldn't have just existed then.
Yeah, I was having Robert George vibes going as we were going through the book, but not too strong. But actually, I hadn't thought about the Lady Audley potential postnatal depression thing until you just said it, until the comment just said it. That's really interesting, actually. Yeah. And then you know, that's it's those actions which lead to her being, you know, diagnosed as mad. It's just awful, isn't it?
But also, if you look at the context of, and again, I don't want to say this because I know some people who are watching this haven't read it. If you look at the context of the situation she finds herself in as a woman, because of all the stuff we know that happens to her before she becomes Lady Audley, she doesn't have much choice in life to get where she wants to get and be secure. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, there's not a huge number of doors open to her, is there?
No. Which is why, yes, she does a few things I don't think are very right and slightly questionable, which I won't give away. But I also understood, and also I just like villains.
Yeah,
just like them.
Because I think because she is a bit of a villain, but also a very, I wouldn't. She's not a likable villain, but you understand why she may have done some of the things she did. And
Yeah.
you can sympathise with her. I think to an extent you can sympathise with her. Sorry, I'm going to swig of my lemonade.
Oh, do you know what I'm on? I've discovered this today. I can't believe it's real. This is fizzy Ribena. Raspberry flavour. Yeah, raspberry flavour. And it is honestly one of the nicest drinks I've ever had. You even get, you know, at the end of a raspberry when you get that slight funny tang, but it's lovely. It even gets that. Oh.
So you buy it in a bottle already fizzed?
Yeah. It's like that. It's like, you know, like you buy a big bottle of Coca-Cola or other brands. There are other brands out there. It's like that. Ribena's now doing it in raspberry and blackcurrant. So let's all get on. We were apparently way more sympathetic to Lady A than Athy and Vixen. Yeah, but you didn't really like the book, Athy Vixen, so we are going to be a bit more. We liked it. Yeah, I thought, yes, and also I have some interesting ideas. Little Miss Vix 81, and we can't discuss this too much because it would be a spoiler. I have some interesting ideas about their setup at the end of the book, considering the homoerotic undertone to their relationship. Me too.
Yeah.
Me
Good point.
too.
Jenny M said, "Oh, I loved the book. Was really irritated, especially with the male characters." Yeah.
But you know what? For this, because this was a huge success at the time, she's one of the rare female writers of sensation novels. It's really, but if you're all looking for another lesser known sensation novel, it's honestly one of my favourite books of all time. I would recommend East Lynne by Ellen Wood or Mrs. Henry Wood. It's like Middlemarch on speed.
Brilliant. I like Middlemarch. I've heard loads of people talk about East Lynne.
Yeah.
I just can't find it in a version that I want. They don't do it in this, which is stressing me out. But yeah,
it's an OUP one.
Yeah. It's supposed to be absolutely brilliant. I've only heard amazing things about that.
Yeah, it's basically you get to go and nosy through a whole sort of, I wouldn't say it's quite a town, but it's not a village, and get to find out all the secrets that are going on behind closed doors. And there's some really, really dark stuff that's happened, and it's just brilliant. And when I was a tour guide at Highgate Cemetery, I used to point out her tomb every time because people had really not heard of it, and she didn't get shown off a lot. So we'd whiz past Radcliffe Hall, and I'd be like, yeah, but look at this, come and see it, you know, Mrs. Ellen Wood, she's amazing. Yeah, that book is just, honestly, it's phenomenal. By the way, if anyone's got any questions for either me or Tom, please let us know. We don't have to stick to autumn hibernation. If you fancy a question, ask a question. But we are already, oh sorry, go on, Tom.
I was just going to say, little Miss Vix said she read Desperate Remedies by Thomas Hardy as a sensation novel, and enjoyed all the twists and turns. A bit coincidence heavy though. I really want to read more Thomas Hardy, but I haven't. I've read a bit of Under the Greenwood Tree and was put off and stopped. But for Victober this year, I read some of his poetry and was absolutely blown away.
I've read Tess of the D'Urbervilles, which is very good, and that I love that. It's very good.
It's very good.
People rave about it, isn't it? It's very good. But It's not every time I pick. The one thing I will say that I have an issue with some classics, and it's what's making me slightly nervous about Vanity Fair, is because of the times and because how different, entertainment was so different then to now. There is a bit of dawdling and there is a bit of overwriting sometimes. And yes, this is very plot driven, but actually sometimes she spends a long time talking about what somebody's doing for 5 hours walking down the street. And that's sometimes my problem with classics. But it feels sometimes with like Hardy and stuff like overly.
Yeah, I think. I mean, some of it. I guess some part of the reason for that is because of the serialization of those novels.
Yeah.
So to fill a bit of a journal or a magazine every month or week or whatever.
You're a paper word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Charles Dickens paid for word. Hence Bleak House and David Copperfield and Little Dorrit and all those chunksters. But I think, yeah, it's. I mean, for me, I'm much more used to a faster pace of like entertainment, and I think we all are now. So it's
because you read a lot of classics, though.
yeah, but it's not to say
I really like them.
it's not to say I like. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm looking at my classics now. There's quite a few on there I didn't enjoy.
But I've kept them to remind me of the torture.
Yeah, go put them on the fire. No, but there's I think for me, I just like because my predominant interest is the history rather than the kind of novels themselves. I just like reading about that time.
Yeah.
The sort of Victorian time period for me.
Well, because you also like contemporary novels set then.
Yeah, historical fiction's definitely my favourite. My favourite genre.
Who loves it?
I absolutely love it.
You should judge the HWA debut Crown. I'm going to put you in touch with them because I think you'd be great on it because it's like historical treat galore. So yeah, and also hilariously, when I'm judging a prize, I always say I never want to do it again, and then as soon as I get offered one, I'm like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Well, Tom will be okay for stuff to burn when the apocalypse comes, apparently. And Ruby Hanmer said, I've started The Warden by Anthony Trollope today. Saw it on Goodreads. You, Simon, gave it 1-star rating a few years ago. I'm on chapter 8 and enjoying it, but there's definitely some dawdling. Now, I need to reread that at some point because my mum there's certain books my mum keeps buying me, and they, like Vanity Fair is one. She's bought me like loads of them. They just ended up leaving. They're gone. Good day. And Trollope's The Warden is another one of them but it was my granddad's favourite book, so I feel like I should read it.
What I would say about The Warden is a lot of people say it's very dry and it's not a good place to start with Anthony Trollope. I think it's a brilliant place to start with Anthony Trollope because although it might not be the most exciting book, it's short and it gets you into his style of writing, and it sets you up with the setting and some of the characters in the Barchester series. And all I'll say is get through The Warden, even if you're not loving it, to get to Barchester Towers. Barchester Towers is brilliant, the second book in that series.
Well, we'll see. All right, Tom, we'll see. Lorna M says, and I don't know who we've missed who was saying it originally, but they would agree with starting from Far From the Madding Crowd. Sorry, that Ribena is very bubbly. I agree with starting from Far From the Madding Crowd. A lot of Hardy is quite cruel to the reader, especially with the endings, but the writing is so poetic and beautiful. I stick with him. And then Athen Vixen is a commentastic commenter. Said, I was put off Hardy by the trumpet mayor in school fainting at the sight of a cow. Oddly, that makes me want to read it.
Yeah, what's that?
That sounds like it's like The Archers, which I love. And sometimes the only exciting thing that happens in The Archers is that a cow escapes.
For me, with Thomas Hardy, like I don't mind a sad book. I'm quite partial to a sad book, shall we say? And I don't mind if it's depressing. I think what I'm not so good with is 19th century literature set in rural locations.
Okay.
I don't know why.
The countryside, eh?
Sorry, say that again.
Got an I don't know. Got something against the countryside, have you?
I hate it. No, I don't know what it is. I think again, it's because I have a really strong interest in like Victorian London, and actually, I really liked oh God, what's it called, North and South, because it's set in like a fictionalized Manchester. But did you not like it? Simon Savage. Let's have a chat about that.
I was part of a book group, and I just found it really boring.
You know what? Do you know what? I get where you come from. The one of the things I liked about it is Margaret has some absolutely hilarious one-liners. She has like 2 one-liners in that book, and they're just and you can easily miss them if you're just like.
She's great, but she like the book is like that, and she's not really that much. I would like to read Cranford, so that's where I might go with that.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited because I'm going to be reading more classics over the next year and a half before I turn 40. I really want to just. I'm kind of excited about going on the journey, but one of the reasons that I decided not to make a list and get everyone to join in was because I thought that's going to put too much pressure, and I need to just kind of go. Jenny,
is there one book in your head?
I will try Cranford. You what? Sorry.
Is there one book in your head where you're like, if I don't get to this classic before in the next year and a half, I'm going to be annoyed? Is there one where you're thinking, I know I'm definitely going to read that?
I definitely want to read Ethan Frome and The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton, because The House of Mirth is one of the best books I've ever read. And that's such an amazing, and you never forget Lily in that. Although I now have a problem because I've seen the film since, and the goddess that is Gillian Anderson plays her, but because we've started watching The Crown this morning, and now I've seen it as Margaret Thatcher, my head's doing funny things whenever I think of Lily.
How are you finding The Crown?
We've only watched one episode, and we're going to watch another one tonight. I just think it is so. My journey with The Crown is, I was worried it was going to be like my journey with Downton Abbey, where I loved the first series, didn't like the second series, and therefore was just going to fall off. But I really like the third series, and that first episode of this series is like one of my favourite episodes already. And I didn't. And what I love about a show like that is it's pre my birth ish, because I was a Thatcher baby, but it's giving me insight into the politics of the time and making me want to go off and read more. Like, there's a certain death that happens at the beginning, in the middle of the first episode, that I didn't know of at all. So yeah,
I think for me with The Crown, I loved series 1, loved series 2, could take or leave series 3, love series 4. The reason I could take or leave series 3 is because I didn't feel like there was any one strong narrative tying all of the episodes together.
That coal miner episode, though, for me was one of the most breathtaking episodes of a show I've seen. So I don't know. I just, for me, series 2 something went off. I don't know. I love the fact that that loads of it's filmed here in Liverpool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're here quite a lot, just saying. But yeah, so they were filming it outside my old office when they were turning Liverpool into America.
I'm in Ely as well.
You what?
They film a lot of it in Ely as well, where I live, because of the cathedral. Oh. They always film things in that cathedral.
Oh, they can't stop.
Oh, they just can't stop.
They won't stay away. I'm excited because we're going off on massive tangents from autumn book hibernation, but I'm really excited because they've been filming Batman in Liverpool. Like, Batman has literally been on the Liver building. Catwoman has been literally motorcycling around. It's been amazing. And it was all happening in tier 3 when everyone was saying that Liverpool was so unsafe. And I was like, why are they filming Catwoman and Batman here then?
Yeah. It's like, well, there's a cat on top of that building. It hasn't got a mask on.
There's a most amazing picture of Batman on the Liver building at the very top under the Liver birds. It's phenomenal. So yeah, no, it's really, really cool. Anyway, sorry, that's a tangent. But Liverpool's used loads for filming. The room me and Chris got married in was where they filmed loads of the scenes from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by She Who Shall Not Be Named, and we Athen Vixen, I don't want to hear that. I don't think he caught COVID in Liverpool, though. I think that was pre that.
Is he Batman then?
Yeah, he's the new Batman.
Oh, I
I've seen him
see.
before, but as soon as anyone puts a bat mask on, I'm like, hello. So let's all move on from that. I'm intrigued though, with going back to The Crown, with who's taking over from Olivia in series 5.
Do you know who it is? Yeah.
Do you know it is?
Yeah, Imelda Staunton.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she's going to be really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I've a story about Imelda Staunton.
Oh, is it one that you can share now or not?
Well,
is this from your theatre days?
Yeah. Let's just say.
This is going to be like a Tamsin Greig story, is it?
No, this is loads. Let's just say she. No, I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. We'll leave that for now. We'll leave that for now. So what else are we going to talk about? So we should talk about what we might do for the, I was going to say series 2 of book Hibernation.
Let's call it that.
Who's going to play me in series 2?
This is what I'll look like in series 2. I'll be a completely different person, a new actor playing me.
I didn't recognise you for a moment there, Tom. Okay, people are talking about gym suits. Let's keep it clean now, everybody. Let's not go down that alley. Otherwise, there will be a block button. So, moving on from that very quickly. So, yeah, in terms of winter book Hibernation, people were saying on the Insta lives we did, they would quite like it to be at the end of January for something for people to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, Tom?
I'm up for that. End of January would be wonderful for me. I'm interested to know about what people thought of the prompts. Was it too many prompts? Do you want more prompts? What sort of feedback on the prompts?
Put it out there, Tom, because if people want more, we have to do them.
Yeah.
Because I think what we're going to do is try and do them seasonally. And I have to say, HRH has confirmed she'll be more than happy for us to do spring Hibernation at her retreat.
Oh, bless her.
Her house. Yeah. And actually, I think what's nice, having done a spring and a summer before, or have I just done a summer? No, I've done the spring and the summer, I think, maybe. I'm not sure. Is you do genuinely read it shows how you genuinely read differently at different times of year.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that I read shorter, more modern fiction in the spring and summer.
Yeah, no, it's true.
At the end of that.
Oh, there we go. Lisa G has said, I did basic prompts, 4 books in a week, well impressed with myself. Yeah, that's amazing, Lisa. Good for you. And Little Miss Vix 81 said, I thought the prompts were just the right amount. Athen Vixen said, just right, enough for the time scale, and you can combine or read different ones if you like. True. Heather's bookshelf's been very specific. She's voted for the 18th to the 22nd of Jan because I'm on annual leave. I see what you've done, Heather. I see what we've got going on here.
That might be quite good though. 18th to 22nd of Jan.
It's quite short though compared to this one.
18, 19, 20, 22. Oh yeah, it's quite short. I had to count then. I'm not very good at maths. 1, 2, 3.
Fozzie Mup says, hello, Simon Tom. Hi, Fozzie Mup. I never on my channel, so you've got a rare thing out of me. That's like me giving a high five in real life. It never happens. I walk away from them. So yeah, I think what I'd like to do with the next one is the same. Is sort of have the 4 basics and the 2 extras, but maybe whatever your group choice is, which we will discuss away from the cameras. Whatever your group read choices can sort of inspire the other ones, because that way what I felt good about was, I have done readathons before. What I felt good about with my own readathon was, in the past, I have felt disheartened if I haven't managed all the basic ones. And because this automatically included that, the fact that I then managed to read the 2 extra, just made me feel like I'd achieved something. And also because, and I hadn't made this massively public, but I was having a really, 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 really bad reading wobble. This has been so good for that.
Yeah, because it's something we've been looking forward to, and we sorted out the prompts and stuff like that. So something to sort of get your teeth into. I do think it is a good idea to have the group read as something that will cover the prompts, because then, you know, even if you just read that group read, you've covered your prompts. You're sorted. You don't need to worry.
You're sorted. It's sorted. No, I did feel like that about this, and also I think it made me get excited going around trying to match all of the 6 prompts to books in total. So I don't know, just all of that's really, really good fun, and I like that bit of kind of going through my shelves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think as well, it's good to, like, because winter people instantly go, Christmas, we've got to read Christmas books, and I don't want to do that. I'm reading Christmas books anyway, but I think I just want Christmas to read what I want, and I have to say I am. I mean, there's me. I'm not judging any more prizes. I'm judging one next year, and I start in January, I think. Not January, maybe in January actually. But what's great is now I've got this kind of, this has set me up for the fact that I'm going to be able to read what I want for a while, and that's just really exciting, because even though I know that was the group read, everything else I could just choose from my shelves, and that was really, really lovely. And now, actually, I say that I've got one more book to finish before, I can't find it. I've got one more book to finish before the beginning of December, because I'm going to see the 1st of December as like reading what I want again, and that's just my book club choice with Melanie for this month's book club, which is I Am an Island by Tamsin Calidus, which is non-fiction. It's quite heavy. We're recording on Wednesday, but we're not going to put it live until the middle of the month to give people longer, because people are taking a long time with it. And then we're having December off technically, and then we're going to do our next book club in January. So it might be worth us doing it after that, because that will be, Anyway, sorry, just made that all about me.
No, it's all about me. We have to do it this day because me. Fine. I could do whatever.
But that will be before the 18th, so maybe we could start on it. What day is the 18th of January? Hang on, let me just check.
Someone said, for some reason I want to read thrillers at Christmas. Heather's bookshelves. For some reason I want to read thrillers at Christmas. I get that. I do get that. There's something cozy, and there is something cozy about a thriller, I think. It's like a
thriller.
A cozy thriller. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, there's one I really want to get, but it seems to be out of stock everywhere. I've been looking on Waterstones and Bookshop and all sorts. It's called The Christmas Egg, and it's by British Library Crime Classics, and I love their winter ones. They are just perfect for winter. So the 18th is Monday, so we could technically start it on the 16th and finish it on the 24th. Yeah, but we'll talk about that separately. We'll talk about that.
We'll organise that separately, won't we? Yeah. I want to read. There's a thriller set in Peterborough, I think, on the train station called Platform 7 or something like that. Have you read it? Of course you have. Is it good?
Yeah, it's got a ghostly narrator, which I wasn't expecting, but was very good. So you can't choose that for the next book read, okay? Sorry,
guys.
What do you think you're going to go for, Tom? Do you think you're going to go for something classic, something contemporary?
What I'm going to read next?
No, that we're going to do for our next group read for winter hibernation, book hibernation.
I don't know. The thing is, we could go with something really. We could go with something really wintry, like Winter by Ali Smith. But I feel like a lot of people have already read that, maybe. Oh no, Simon's passed out.
I'm joking. I've read it. I feel bad because I love Ali Smith, but a bit like Ian McEwan and some other authors, I feel like.
What about a? Well, I'm up for anything, but what we could do a historical fiction. That's quite wintry, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
If I hadn't read
is it going to be The Betrayals by any chance?
Do you know what? I'm so excited to get that. I know it. The thing is, I know it's upstairs under the bed in one of the spare rooms. So I'm just like, I could just go and get it now if I wanted. I could go get it now, unwrap it, start reading it. For anyone who doesn't know, it's the second adult novel by Bridget Collins, isn't it?
That's correct.
I love the binding.
I liked it.
I know.
did not like it. I liked it. That's all I've got to say while I heard
we could do something like, I don't know. Do you know what I think is a really good wintry book? Melmoth.
The Wanderer.
The book by Sarah Perry. Have you read it?
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. I actually preferred it to the Essex Serpent.
We can't read a book we've already read.
Oh yeah, okay. It's because I'm looking at my bookshelves.
Oh, Natalie is here. Natalie, I just want to mention, because Natalie is here, I'm going to be reading this very soon, Natalie, because of you and Tom. And also, if you don't like coincidences in fiction, avoid sensation novels because they are built on coincidences, which I don't like anymore, but I did enjoy going back to with this because it's a bit like an escape. This felt a bit like Sunday night TV that isn't the Sky Arts Book Club, which hopefully will be returning in 2021. But it's very like it's like a Sunday night TV, like historical show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually I could see it as like a 3-part drama.
Yeah.
ITV.
Oh no, ITV. Let's make it BBC One, please.
Oh, nice. Someone said I really like Melmoth too. The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave. Winter historical. I haven't read that. The Mercies.
I'm just going to see which other ones of so we've got
Jennifer Lovell saying I loved The Binding.
Who's me reviewing mine saying if you want to slap, yes.
Yeah, who's that?
A slap with what? A book? Yeah. How dare you? People are voting historical. I think we've just got to leave it to you to choose whatever you would like us to read.
As Tom likes Victorian London, maybe Dracula would be a shout. Do you know what? I haven't read Dracula.
I know.
I have. Have you read, what's the one that's supposed to be like Dracula but loads better? Camilla? Is it called Camilla?
Just to say, Natalia, I haven't started it yet. I'm taking it away with me when I vanish for 2 weeks. Vanish. Can I just say, I'm not travelling abroad before anyone starts policing me. So I'm very much staying in the UK, but I'm not. Yeah, but I am going away. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, what's happened there? Oh, just look at mine.
It's beautiful, Tom. Beautiful. Do you know what Chris said to me today? He said, could you please go blonder? Not quite sure how that's possible. Anyway, moving on. Why not another classic set in winter on Simon's list? I'm not making my list of classics public. So no. The Memory Police was a good read last year. I didn't manage to finish that. I started it but didn't finish. The Snow Child, Julie Wayne said, I've read that. I've got a quote in one of the paperbacks of that. Just saying.
Beth the Bookworm said yes, Carmilla. I've heard that.
I've never heard of it.
It's vampire, but it's much better. Apparently, the portrayal of women in Dracula is just absolutely ridiculous. I've heard. I haven't read it, but that's what I've heard. Reading in pajamas, I felt like there's a bit of drawl in the middle, and I ended up so excited for a certain character to die, but I loved it. What's that?
I feel like it needs to be something that's fresh to us both. Because actually,
say that again.
I say that after I'd recommended rereading a book, but I think it might be better fresh. Because actually, there were points at this where I did go a little bit like, "Oh, I've already read it, so maybe I don't need." And I want the group read to not feel like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's loads of there's lots, isn't there? Lots of options.
There are. Very quickly going through The Watchmaker of Filigree Street. I've not heard of that. Somebody said, "Am I staying at Her Majesty's pleasure?" What does that mean?
In a prison.
Ooh, why would you think that?
Well,
I've worked in a prison library before, to be fair. Anyway, Carmilla, I'm going to look that one up because that does sound quite interesting. What was the other thing I was going to say? Victoria Plum says, never caught you live before, but I love your videos. Thank you, Victoria. I will say I've linked Tom's channel in the comments below because Tom is one of those people who, as soon as a video of him goes up, I get so excited and a little joy tingle all over my body.
Oh, bless your little heart.
It's true. That sounded ruder than I meant it to as well. Yes, Helen Hickey says the book's by Natasha Pulley. I tried one of hers and I didn't gel with it. I don't know why.
I think the Watchmaker of Filigree Street. I haven't read it. I've heard a lot about it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I think we're putting too much pressure on Tom now. Too much pressure. Although people are saying Carmilla is a really short read, and people are saying it's a great read. So you need to make that decision. Although there is a book that we both bought together and never got round to reading, and I'm not on about the one that you think that I'm on about. I'm on about the Scottish one.
Oh yeah.
So that could be a possibility.
God, that was this time last year.
I wonder if that's more springy.
I don't know. I can't remember what it's about.
Can I have a look? Can I have a look?
I'll
have a look. But yeah, I think yeah, that might be quite nice. I don't know. We'll have to have a think. What about non-fiction?
I'd be up for non-fiction. I think. Well, yeah. I don't know. It has to be the right non-fiction for me.
Yeah. I think for me, like having a non-fiction prompt is great because it makes people go to read another non-fiction. But I think non-fiction for me is one where I need to feel safe that it's going to be something that I really, really like.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Fietti said, "When No One Is Watching" by Alyssa Cole is a great contemporary thriller set in Brooklyn about gentrification. Yes, I was going to do a swap of, I can't find it now, my Patricia Highsmith for that potentially, but I just didn't get around to it because I haven't had as many reading days this week as much as I wanted to. So I was shortened by 3 days out of 8, so I could only read for 5. Sarah Richards says hi.
I'm really interested to read non-fiction. I think we spoke about this last time, but What Have I Done by Laura Dockrill. If anyone's read that, can you comment and let me know what you thought of it? What Have I Done by Laura Dockrill. Really, really keen to get to that.
I definitely want to read that. The only thing I would say, if that was a group read, that could be very triggering.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't. I don't think we read it as a group read. That it's definitely not something everyone would want to read. But yeah, I'm just thinking of my own reading, reading on my own.
If you can make a prompt out of it, we could do it because the prompts are going to be very different the next time. I mean, my tenuous one about a book with a bird on the cover, I mean, that was super duper.
But as long as you're reading any penguin, it's there.
Yeah, there. I could have chosen a book with a cup of tea on it.
Oh, I love a cup of tea. Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna have a cup of tea.
Are you?
I'm gonna have a chamomile tea.
Well, I'm gonna have to go within the next 7 minutes because my déjeuner is gonna be ready.
What are you having? I had a fish finger sandwich, as we know, because we were texting about it.
And that to me is one of the kings of dinner.
And I was really pleased because it's not, they were vegan fish fingers, but I hadn't had a fish finger sandwich since I ate normal fish fingers, and I was pleasantly surprised.
I like a fish finger sandwich. We're having roast chicken, but it's roasted in vegetables and orzo. So it's a Nigella.
It's a Nigella number, is it?
It's Nigella, and Chris is a trained chef, not by trade anymore, but like loves a good cookbook. And the new Cook Eat Repeat is his absolute favourite. We've had all sorts out of that so far, and it's been absolutely delicious. Robotnik said The Wages of Sin by Katie Welsh would be a good one to pick. Feminist mystery thriller set around a women's medical school in Victorian England. I know Katie Welsh as well, so that's lovely. That would be a good recommendation. I've not read any. People are saying an Agatha Christie read.
Yeah, Agatha Christie would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So maybe there's an Agatha Christie that you're desperate to read, Tom. And there was another comment. Somebody had said they'd read Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue it was Helen, had said that she'd read Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue as part of prompt with a book with a bird on the cover. And it was really good. That I've been tempted to read, but is about the Spanish flu epidemic, isn't it? And I don't know if that might be too much for me right now.
Yeah, I really wanted to read, is it called A Year of Wonder, Geraldine Brooks, this year? But I thought that's a bit too...
Do you know that though? That is set 4 villages away from where I was brought up.
Oh, really?
You can go and see the plague cottages because basically it's the only place outside London that got the Black Death. And what they literally did was they self-isolated the whole village, and they built these walls, and people would leave food at the end of the wall, go away, and they would, oh, it's amazing. So it's, yeah, absolutely amazing. What are the ones we got? Till by Daniel Kelman. That could be interesting, translated fiction. Anyway, we'll let Tom choose. Let's not get too wild and too pressurized, otherwise, oh, his brain could explode.
I think Vixen, they were Aldi ones. Just to answer your question about the fish fingers, they were Aldi ones, but Quorn do good ones as well.
That's for any of you who are looking for vegan fish fingers. You've done everyone a service. Then, sorry, I'm just checking that there was something else that I saw that I wanted to respond to, and now I've lost the comment, so it's gone.
Someone said, "Tom, that's a classic," but I don't know what classic means. Maybe they're talking about the fish fingers again.
It could be. Who knew fish fingers would take over this whole live show. So we have 5 minutes left, possibly 4. Tom, what are you planning on reading next? Are you going to head to any books that were on your hibernation TBR, or are you going to go on to something different? And then once you've told us, you may ask me the same question.
Okay. This is what I'm going to read next.
Oh, you like him, don't you?
I do. I loved Starbaker. I read that in one cozy reading night. Last autumn cozy reading night. I was on my own and I read it, scared the life out of myself. The ending of it is the weirdest thing I've ever read in my life. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this. I did start to read, I've read like 10, 20 pages of this prior to autumn book hibernation. So I'm going to pick this back up.
Exciting. I've read the middle one. What's his middle one called? I read it because I hosted an event with him and I can't remember what it's called. I always get cross with myself when I can't remember the title of a book, but then I think I've read so many blinking books, it's no bloody wonder. Well, yeah. So this is a really possibly frustrating answer, but I have no idea what I'm going to read next, because I've got to finish I'm an Island for book club, and then for the first time in 6 months, 7 months, because of prize judging and book show, and somebody said, some people were saying they were missing the book club. Thank you very much. We loved making it. I was feeling sad about it until we put the picture up of me, Elizabeth, and Andy in our downstairs loo, and that's made me feel much happier because I can just see them every time I walk past it and wave. Although my face is massive on that photo. Anyway, so I have no idea, but I will pick it up. I think because I let my Patreons pick my first read of every month, and I haven't quite decided what. I want to whittle it down a bit. I have a feeling what it might be, but I don't know. I don't know at the moment. I just want to shop my shelves again. I need to sort out, just so that everyone can see them, the 150 proofs that have arrived for 2021, because I am also beginning to feel like I want to read 2021 books and get a bit ahead.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a novel that you head to next? Non-fiction, poetry?
Novel. And it might be genre fiction, possibly.
Like historical fiction or something like that.
I feel a bit like I've got a thriller tingle coming on.
Well, what about, isn't it going to be this? Oh no, this is what you're reading when you go away.
This is going in my suitcase because I feel like I'm away for 2 weeks. There's not a bookshop that near. So, but I'm just looking forward to like packing 2 weeks. I don't know how many books do you pack for 2 weeks? Oh, thank you, Natalie. Natalie said, thank you both for creating some fun for us all in our reading. I'm just going to check that we've not missed any comments before we go. The band played is fabulous. I've never heard of that.
Take the Chunkster, someone's saying.
Take the chunks of what to read next?
I don't know. I guess on your holiday. But I think
this is no question. This is coming with me to my exciting destination within Great Britain.
Jenny M said, thank you. This has been a brilliant readathon. Had so much fun reading and discussing with everyone on Instagram. It's same. It's been brill.
And also, I think I want to say thank you to lovely Sarah, who was the one. She's one of my patrons I do a Zoom with patrons once a month generally when I can. And it was her that brought up the fact that it would be great to do more prompts and have more sort of stuff going on throughout the week. And then thank you, Tom, for joining me and doing it. I've just found a non-fiction book that I would quite like to read quite soon. Miss Savage moves her house. And this is about May Savage, who may or may not be related to me, probably is the same surname, who moved her house literally brick by brick over 100 miles in the 1930s, I think.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's from a tiny, tiny press, but also slightly all about me.
All about me.
All about me. So maybe I'll read that. But no, it's been a pleasure for us to do this. We've both really, really, really enjoyed it. And thank you all for joining in, because it's all, it's great for us to host it. But if you guys didn't join in, it wouldn't happen.
It'd just be us two.
Which would be lovely in its own way.
Do you know what? And thank you for asking me, because I remember when you sent me a voice note on WhatsApp about it back in the summer, which feels like 150 years ago.
Thinking about when we met in Cambridge, that was this spring, and that feels like 790.
Was it this spring? I thought it was this time last year.
No, it was this spring.
I don't know where I am. What year is it? What day is it? But yeah, I remember I was out for a walk when you sent it to me, and I got really excited. So yeah, thank you very much for asking me. It's been an absolute.
You might say no.
Yeah, sorry, no.
Absolutely no way. I'm not doing anything more with you. So that'll be our winter one. We'll announce dates to that soon. Well, not soon, but probably before Christmas. Or should we leave it after Christmas so people have a bit of a break? Or maybe
we're doing it January.
If we have the prompts before Christmas, people might choose books that they can get on their Christmas list. And also, what was the other thing that I was going to say? Hopefully the spring one we might do with HRH, Louise Savage, in real life. I mean, imagine that.
The Duchess, yeah.
The Duchess. So on that note, we're going to go because my dinner's probably ready and I'm going to be in trouble. But thank you again, Tom, for joining in with this. It's been such a treat. And also, thank you so much, everyone who has joined in, who's chatted with us. Feel free to keep using the hashtag HiBearNation as you read other stuff. And yeah, you know where we are on Instagram. You know where we are on YouTube. So yeah, that's that. We better go. Tom,
enjoy your dinner. It's been absolutely divine. I've had a lovely time.
And I will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Simon.
Bye.
Bye.